Wick drives to a distribution center claimed by Abram Tarasov to get his vehicle back. Abram needs recompense against John for killing his sibling Vigo and nephew Yosef. All John is killing Abram's watchman before he at long last gets to his vehicle. As he drives away, some of Abram's men assault John. His vehicle is genuinely harmed when the colleagues collide with his vehicle, yet Wick fends off every one of the men prior to advancing toward Abram's office. When there, John pours Abram and himself a beverage. He decides to save Abram and offers him harmony. Abram questions John regarding whether he can really discover a sense of reconciliation. John gets back to the still anonymous canine he took toward the finish of the primary film. He calls Aurelio to come get the vehicle, which, while drivable, is a disaster area. All things considered, Aurelio says he will fix it. After Aurelio leaves, John reburies his weapons and gold underneath new concrete, accepting he is finished with the professional killer's life. He watches a video on his telephone of himself and his late spouse Helen. Sometime thereafter, John is visited by another professional killer named Santino D'Antonio. He gives John a marker that John gave him when he was finishing the responsibility which permitted him to abandon his previous life. The marker addresses a blood pledge committing John to play out any help expected by Santino. John will not help Santino, regardless of knowing the outcomes. Santino goes out and gets an R-137 to fire explosives that obliterate John's home. John and the canine departure. John goes to the mainland inn to meet with Winston to examine the marker and what Santino has mentioned of him. Winston can't actually hope to make a difference with it since John made the vow, and on the off chance that he keeps on declining it, his life will be available to anyone. John withdraws and leaves the canine under the watchful eye of the lodging's attendant, Karen. John finds Santino lastly consents to do one occupation for him. Santino believes John should kill his sister Gianna, who is set to climb to the high table, a gathering of strong professional killers. John contends that this is an unimaginable objective, to which Santino answers that for this reason he needed John for the assignment. He really wanted the best. Seeing no chance to get out of it, John goes to Rome to follow through with the responsibility. He remains at the Rome mainland, possessed by Julius. John meets with providers to get ready, a designer to purchase custom, projectile-safe lined suits, a student of history to get guides of the sepulchres, and an armorer to secure weapons. John goes to a party that is Gianna's royal celebration and welcome to the high table. She is joined by her unwavering protector Cassian. John slips into Gianna's room and stands up to her alone. He tells her that Santino sent him. She cautions him of the situation that will develop once she is dead. She decides to pass on in her own specific manner by cutting her wrists. Gianna lies in a pool as she kicks the bucket. Out of appreciation for their past kinship, John holds her hand until she drops. And to guarantee the marker, John shoots her in the head. Cassian spots John as he is leaving. After discovering that John is working, Cassian draws his weapon, as does John, and each shoots the other. John runs into the sepulchres where he has pre-situated the weapons he purchased before. He is gone after by many Santino's associates, who mean to take care of potential issues by killing him. He understands Santino is betraying him and kills everybody before he moves away. Cassian gets up to speed to him and they battle until they crash through a window of the Rome mainland. Since no blood might be spilled on mainland grounds, John and Cassian sit at the bar and have a beverage together. John makes sense of the marker that Santino approached him to kill his sister. Cassian sees yet in addition can't permit his ward's executioner to slip by everyone's notice. He pays for John's beverage and leaves. John then spots Ares, Santino's quiet protector. She tells him through gesture-based communication that she'll be seeing him. He answers in communication through signing that assuming she continues to follow him, he'll end her. As John is making a beeline for New York City, Santino puts out a $7 million agreement to kill John. The agreement is appropriated to every one of the professional killers nearby. A female musician in the tram takes out a firearm from the violin and attempts to kill John. However, he curbs her and breaks her neck. A heavy Asian man pursues John and gets his mind smothered. Two men in the metro attempt to kill him, and John mercilessly kills them with a pencil. Cassian finds John as he gets on the tram and battles him in the train. John cuts Cassian and drives the blade into his chest, puncturing his aorta. He permits Cassian to live as a proficient civility. That's what letting him know whether he threatens to use the blade out, he will drain to death. John leaves Cassian on the tram. Harmed, John searches out what gives off an impression of being a vagrant and requests his assistance. John gives him a coin and requests to be taken to him. The destitute turns kills two men dressed as janitors who are searching for John. Him ends up being the Bowery ruler, a professional killer that once had a disagreement with John and was left with a scar on his neck. John saved him, thus now the Bowery lord sees himself as strong. He additionally is aware of the abundance on John's head and is extremely enticed to take the agreement, yet John persuades him in any case. With BK's assistance, John can find Santino's whereabouts. John heads to an exhibition hall where Santino is set to have his spot at the high table. John drops in on the party and as Santino's men endeavor to stop him, he kills them all. John pursues Santino through a lobby of mirrors prior to battling Ares. John figures out how to cut Ares and passes on her to bite the dust, not giving her a similar expert politeness he provided for Cassian. Santino races to the New York mainland to look for shelter, realizing that he can't be gone after inside. John tracks down Santino in the parlor. Winston understands what John is going to do and attempts to quiet him down. In any case, John kills Santino, shooting him in the head. John gets back to get his canine from Karen. The following day, John goes with his canine to meet with Winston at the recreation area. Winston illuminates John that since he killed on mainland grounds, the High Table has multiplied the agreement and sent it to each professional killer across the globe. Winston should stamp John as excommunicado, however he gives him a 1-hour lead before the agreement produces results. It then, at that point, becomes clear that everyone in the recreation area is a professional killer, and they have their eyes on John. John advises Winston to tell everybody that assuming they pursue him, he will kill them all. Winston concurs. John leaves as Winston puts the word out. Each passing individual glances at John, knowing what his identity is and what they need from him. John is compelled to take the canine and continue to run.